Hey kids, gather around because I've got a magical story to tell you. This is the enchanted tale of little Bo Peep. Once upon a time, there was a very nice little girl named Bo Peep. She had cheeks as rosy as a peach and a voice as sweet as a silver bell. But even though Bo Peep was as good as she was beautiful, she sometimes had bad days that made her very sad. One such day was when she lost her sheep. And this, my friends, is how it happened. One warm summer evening, as the sun was setting, Bo Peep felt tired and sat down on a bank covered with daisies. She soon fell fast asleep. Now the leader of her sheep, called the Bellwether, was a stubborn and silly fellow. You see, all the sheep followed him because he wore a bell around his neck. But oh, he was a wild one, always wandering off into the woods. When Bo Peep fell asleep, that naughty Bellwether stood on his hind legs, bowing to his shadow on the grass. Then he spun around like a top, ringing his bell. Soon the other sheep started dancing and capering too. After a while, they all followed the Bellwether into the woods. They ran and ran until they were exhausted and finally stopped. The Bellwether looked silly now, just shaking his head and ringing his bell, which seemed to say, "You are lost, you are lost." When Bo Peep woke up, she found her sheep were gone. She was so worried and walked far into the woods searching for them. She asked everyone she met if they had seen her sheep, but they all laughed at her. One mean man even threatened to beat her. Finally, she met an old raven sitting on a stile. She asked him if he had seen her sheep, but he just cawed, caw, caw, caw. Bo Peep wandered until nightfall, and as she was very hungry, she was happy to see a light ahead. It was coming from a cottage window, but when she got to the door, it looked so dark and scary that she was afraid to go in. Suddenly, a cross-looking old woman came out and dragged Bo Peep inside. She made Bo Peep sit next to her son, an ugly youth with a red face and red hair. The old woman said she brought Bo Peep to be his wife. Bo Peep didn't like him at all and ran away while they were sleeping. She wandered again and thought she was lost when she heard an owl hooting, "Too-wit, too-woo." The owl seemed kind and led Bo Peep to a cottage with plenty to eat and drink. Then the owl spoke and told Bo Peep a magical story. The owl was once a lovely princess, turned into an owl by the old woman because she refused to marry her ugly son. The owl said Bo Peep could help her become a princess again. She had to find her sheep, but they would be missing their tails. The elves would return the tails the next morning, except for the Bellwethers. Bo Peep had to wave his tail 3 times over the owl's head to break the spell. Bo Peep followed the owl into the woods and fell asleep. She awoke to find the queen of the fairies, who said the sheep were being punished for running away. The elves had taken the sheep's tails but soon returned them all except the Bellwethers, which they hid in a tree. Bo Peep found the tail and waved it 3 times over the owl's head. Suddenly, the owl turned into the most beautiful princess ever seen. The princess gave Bo Peep a lovely cottage, and from that day on, her sheep never ran away again. And that's the enchanted tale of little Bo Peep. Remember, even when things seem lost, there's always hope if you keep believing. Thanks for listening, kids. See you next time.